Hello, my name is Emily Bridenstine, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my intern experience at Covenant Sex Therapy. I did my internship for BYU-Idaho Marriage and Family Studies program. One of the most difficult things of an internship is finding one. Um, I would suggest first going through your connections, people you know or people in your ward. But after that is exhausted, I went to Psychology Today, and the link is included in my presentation. And I went to their function called Find a Therapist. It was originally intended to help potential clients or patients find a therapist that would match their needs, their value system, and things like that. However, you can also use it for professional networking and things. So I went to Psychology Today, Find a Therapist. I entered in an area, which I chose Utah, as that's where I would stay for the summer. And then I clicked search, and I scrolled through and found Covenant Sex Therapy. That immediately caught my eye, so I clicked on it, and I got to this little page. You can see about, photos, networking, phone number, location, and that looked really good to me, so I emailed them. And that email link is actually embedded in the website, but you'll need to provide a professional email that it will be linked to. And so I emailed the owner, Dr. Hughes, and I basically said, "Hi, I'm Emily Bridenstine. I am at BYU-Idaho. I'm in Marriage and Family Studies. I'm looking for an internship. Are you accepting interns at this time?" And then this is really important. I included what I could do for their company and why I wanted to intern there. I mentioned I want to be a sex therapist and that I could work in their social media department, I could work secretary tasks, I could work in their office. Whatever he would like me to do, as long as I am working to help his company, I would be more than happy to do. A couple days after I sent that, he actually got in touch with me and said he would be interested in offering me a position. And I asked him a little bit more details about it, and we discussed what would go on in that internship. And I got a few other offers from this website, and ultimately I chose to go with Covenant Sex Therapy. So, as I mentioned, we talked a little bit about our responsibilities in email form, and this is basically what we agreed upon. I became an online intern, so I could do it anywhere, anytime, and basically I was their social media expert. I had to create new blog posts, and those blog posts were based on research, and I had to critique and boost their social media, and I had to do some secretary things, making calls, sending emails, writing letters, stuff like that. As you can see on the top corner, I have an example of one of my blog posts, and you can just see the title and you can continue reading if you're interested. And then I have on the bottom corner a little sneak peek to what our website is like. But I spent most of my internship working on the website with the blog, and a big chunk of hours spent in research. I believe that I really benefited Covenant Sex Therapy. I helped them with their social media, and I found solid research for blog posts. But I also, about 5 weeks or so into my internship, I was offered a position as an administrative assistant. So I went down to the Provo office and talked with Dr. Hughes face to face, sort of like an interview, if you would. And I talked to him about what my responsibilities would be in that position and things like that. Keep in mind, I did not meet with him at all before that point. To intern, you don't have to meet him face to face. You don't have to come to Utah. However, when he wanted to offer me a position, he wanted to see me in person and give me my basic tasks and responsibilities. And in that position, I basically do secretary stuff. I call clients and things like that. I work with insurance. So I became their secretary, basically, and that's also online, so I don't have to remain in Utah. But a lot of work that interns and employees can do is online now, which is amazing. So some benefits for me from my internship is that I learned a lot about sex therapy. I researched it for blog posts, but I also, when I met with Dr. Hughes, I got to ask him a lot of questions. I learned about the insurance required to open your own practice. I learned about how an office runs, things like that. I made important connections to therapists. He actually introduced me to his team of therapists, so I met many wonderful therapists. It solidified my career path. After being part of Covenant Sex Therapy, I have no doubt that sex therapy is what I want to do. I want to help with pornography and sex addiction, mainly. And as I mentioned, I was employed and became a part of a company with integrity and shared values. Covenant Sex Therapy is actually LDS based, and so all the sex therapy is consistent with LDS values of, marriage and sacredness of sexuality. So that was really great. Most of the therapists are LDS, or at least are well aware of the value systems and standards of LDS culture, if you would. And so I was never asked to write a blog post about why premarital sex is good or cohabitation or anything like that. I was never asked to do anything I felt uncomfortable with doing, and it was just a really great professional experience for me. So you will need some connections to your coursework if you are considering this type of internship. The biggest thing is knowing how to research and knowing the kinds of language family research use. I learned a lot about researching with the BYU-Idaho resources in my advanced writing class. So I highly recommend taking that class. And I also saved every research paper I did in my classes, so I could reference back to that and see, how do I write a literature review again? Oh yeah, that's a literature review. Hey look, there's a study I used in there that would work for my blog post. It's great. So really knowing research is crucial to success being a blog post writer for a company. And it's really, really important that you're able to take that and transform it into a cohesive article that the average Joe Schmo could understand. That is most of the times in my coursework. It also helps to take a few theory classes because I knew the language they used in research and I knew what to expect, like the format of research, things like that, because I'd done research in my family classes. Another great class to take before joining a sex therapy company, whether as an employee or an intern, is to take the marriage class. You get a little bit of information about sexuality. There's a unit, well, not a unit, but I guess it would be a unit on it in that class, and that was really helpful. So if you're interested in interning at Covenant Sex Therapy, I highly recommend it. And you can contact Dr. Anthony Hughes at anthony@covenantsextherapy.com. You can just send him an email. Again, the best way to email a potential employer or potential internship supervisor is to be professional, introduce yourself, why you want to intern there, and what you can do for the company. They're not so much interested in what you want out of it, but they want to know what you can give to their company. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about interning at Covenant Sex Therapy for Marriage and Family Studies.